Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council is coming to you live from the Davidson Room at the Music City Center, and it's a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 40th business meeting of a four-year term. This is the 10th council meeting of 2021. Metro Council will once again hold a live, in-person, open to the public business meeting here at the Music City Center. This is only the second such meeting in 2021. The council did meet 5 times in person here last fall before retreating back to a virtual format when the level of COVID-19 in the community increased. Now with virus levels still dropping and the state and local restrictions ending, including the indoor mask mandate, the council will meet tonight for the first time in several months without the need for anyone to wear a face mask covering unless they want to do so. Officials at the Music City Center say masks are required to wear into the Music City Center since the health department is still using the building to provide vaccinations. However, they are not requiring that masks be worn inside. If you want to wear them, it is your choice in the building, but will not be stopped by the staff to ask you to put on a mask, so I guess the masks are optional. As for the council itself, the plan right now is for the Music City Center to have the meeting here tonight, this second meeting in May. However, come June 1st and the beginning of the budget season in earnest, the council will be back at the Metro Courthouse for its meeting on Tuesday, June 1st. The virus willing, that's where they'll be for the time on. This will be the first time the council has met in person back in the council chambers if it happens on June 1st. Since March 17th of 2020. Tonight's council agenda is 30 pages long with a total of 17 pieces of legislation, 75 pieces of legislation. That includes 25 resolutions, 15 first reading bills, 17 second reading measures, and 17 third and final reading ordinances. That's in addition to 9 appointments or reappointments of local citizens to Metro boards and commissions. Perhaps the most high-profile pieces of legislation on tonight's agenda are the budget and property tax levy ordinances. They're on first reading. None of these measures are expected to be debated tonight. Tax levy and budget will be approved at the council in its final meeting in June. The budget and tax levy ordinance will be passed routinely on first reading tonight, then sent to committee for further review. There will be a public hearing on the budget and tax levy that is set for June 1st at the courthouse. It'll be on second reading that night again with final approval of the budget and tax levy later in the month of June. Due to the recent countywide property tax reappraisal in Davidson County, which is required by state law, the property tax rate this week will be considerably lower than last year, than this current year. However, because the property values have increased so much in so many parts of town, your taxes could be higher or lower, depending on whether your property and your neighborhood's value has increased above or decreased below the countywide average, which is an increase of about 30% or more. Property owners can appeal their reappraisals. In that regard, the number of commercial properties owners are expected to appeal is going to be quite high. RS 2021-937 would approve 2 more persons to hear commercial cases. Council had previously approved 69 residential hearing officers and 6 commercial hearing officers. That happened back in April of 2021. Under Resolution RS 2020-936, the council would approve $9.4 million in grants tonight for the city's Barnes Fund, from the city's Barnes Fund, for affordable and works-out housing developments. The funds would go to Affordable Housing Resources, Habitat for Humanity, Be a Helping Hand, Samaritan Recovery Community, Mending Hearts Incorporated, and Urban Housing Services, Urban Housing Solutions, and the Woodbine Community Organization. There is strong support for grants, although there have been complaints in the past from some council members that minority and smaller affordable housing groups have not been funded. In fact, there is a second reading bill on the agenda tonight as well, BL 2021-725, that will require setting aside at least 20% of the Barnes funds to be allocated to small affordable housing nonprofit organizations that have an operating budget of no more than $4 million and a housing budget of no more than $1 million. Another area is tonight, a resolution RS 2021-941 would accept a $986,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services through the Metro Board of Health to provide a variety of services to reduce infant mortality for pregnant and parenting women. There are also a series of resolutions accepting a grant from the governmental entities and from private groups to fund improvements in various metro parks, such as Warner Park, Two Rivers Park, Red Caboose Park in Bellevue, and Bells Bend Park. Under memorializing resolutions, the council will honor Chief John Taylor of the Sheriff's Department for his 35 years of service, to honor the life of Dr. Matthew Walker III, honor the achievements of African-American businessman Bolton Matthews, celebrate and recognize Eddie George as the new head football coach at Tennessee State University. Finally, the council will go on record with a memorializing resolution recognizing gun violence as a public health crisis. On second reading tonight, BL 2021-4 would prohibit aerial advertising. Aircraft, whether self-propelled or buoyant airborne objects, could not be displayed by with having any sign or advertising device. This matter has been before the council for some time, as you can tell from the number, how early it was found in the term. A similar ordinance has been in place in Honolulu, Hawaii, has been upheld by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals as not being preempted by federal law. and is not in violation of the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Because of this, the local bill has been indefinitely deferred for more than 90 days and will be deferred by rule again tonight. But given the court ruling, it may be this will be poised for future action. On third and final reading tonight, the council will consider BL 2021-620. The bill creates a detached accessory dwelling unit overlay district. It does not rezone any existing property, but allows these types of small detached residential units if a rezoning or an overlay occurs. Council members say they have demand for this from older relatives, but some council members see this as a backdoor way for more rental properties and see enforcement issues. If the bill comes up for a final vote tonight, it will need 21 votes to pass. One other third reading bill of note, BL 2021-717, would waive certain building permit fees for repair or rebuilding of property damage as a result of the March floods. Similar bills have been passed recently for those impacted by the March 2020 tornado and the 2nd Avenue bombing. If you want to follow tonight's council meeting as it progresses, you can find the agenda online. Just go to the Metro Council portion of the Nashville.gov website and then on to the Legislative Information Center. We'll also be placing the bill numbers on the screen when they come up for consideration tonight so you can follow along and keep up with where we are on the meeting agenda. Let's now go to Vice Mayor Jim Shulman, who's celebrating his birthday today. He will be gaveling tonight the council meeting into order shortly.
Will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation this evening will be offered by our own council member, Angie Henderson. Councilmember Henderson, I am looking for you. Where are you? I see you in the back. Hold on just a second. Councilmember Henderson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Colleagues, I have 21 faith communities in my district, all the way from the Congregation Micah to multiple denominations of various churches. And so in our last term, I was very grateful to have the youth minister of Oak Hill come and speak with us, and also the Rabbi Rice from Congregation Micah. Both of whom gave very inspiring words. But at this time, I think we, as a body, have gone through a really tough year as a city as well. And so by way of invocation, I would ask us all just to extend each other grace, to kind of reset as we step out into this post-pandemic time. In service of our city, and remember that we are in this together. And so I just ask you to meditate on that, and thank you all. It's a pleasure to serve with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, y'all may be seated. Councilmember Henderson, thank you for those words. Very much appreciated. Madam Clerk, I think we are now ready to take the roll. We got it? Already done? All right. How many members do we have?
We have 35 members, including the Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meeting from May 4th, 2021? See a motion properly seconded. Any discussion on those? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion of the minutes say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Madam Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor? Hold on, I just turned you off. I just had you on. There you go.
That was me.
There you go. Any
And there
messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
All right. All right, so a couple of things. Get my paperwork together. So we have just been informed that one of our finest from Metro Legal, Attorney James Robinson, passed away late this afternoon due to complications from COVID-19. Okay? He was only 41 years old. He's an outstanding litigator, beloved by his colleagues at Metro Legal, way too young to pass away. I would ask that you keep Mr. Robinson's family and the Metro Legal team in your thoughts and prayers during this very difficult time, and I would ask that you rise for a moment of silence in remembrance of Metro Legal Attorney James Robinson. Thank you. You may be seated. Remember that as we get through some of these things, that COVID is still around. Please, everyone, be very, very safe. Way too young. So a couple of things. Our next meeting will be June the 1st, 2021. We'll be here in the Davidson Ballroom in the Music City Center. We will be having a public hearing on the budget that evening, June the 1st, 2021. We will be here in this room. Also giving notice, you all received notice by email of one vacancy on the following agencies: the Nashville Eastern Rail Authority and the Cheatham County Rail Authority. We have seats currently held by our own Councilmember Jeff Syracuse and by Mr. Ed Cole. Those terms expire on June 6, 2021. Metropolitan Council selects one representative to serve as a member on each authority. Nominations will be taken at the next regular Metropolitan Council meeting, which is June 1st, 2021. Nominees must be at least 25 years of age and have resided in Davidson County for at least 1 year. Nominees must submit the Council Board and Commission's questionnaire by noon on June 10th, 2021. Must appear before our Council Rules Committee on Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. And then an election to fill each of those vacancies will be conducted on June 15th. Again, as usual, any nominee that fails to submit his or her questionnaire by June 10th, fails to appear before the Rules Committee for that interview on June the 15th, will be deemed to have withdrawn his or her name from nomination. If you have any questions about this process, please contact Metro Council Director John Cooper. One last thing that I do want to remind you of is that obviously we are looking at the budget right now. I'm going to call Councilmember and Chair Toombs to the podium. I will tell you that obviously we are looking at the operations budget from the mayor. There are meetings starting tomorrow, and I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Toombs to give an explanation of kind of what, if people do want to attend, when these are going to be and where they're going to be. Chairman Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. So starting tomorrow and Thursday, as well as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we have the department budget hearings. On each day, the hearings start at 4 o'clock, and they will be in the chambers. And on the 27th, council members' wish lists are due, and those are turned in to Director Cooper. Thank you.
Oh, and the meetings will be in the chamber, correct? Okay. Thank you, Chair Toombs. All right, we are now ready for elections and confirmations. Councilmember Johnston, I see you back at podium number 2. Is there a report from the Rules Committee?
Yes, we considered several appointments, beginning with Auditorium Commission appointment of Ms. Jackie Marushka for a term expiring June 30th, 2024. The Employee Benefit Board reappointment of Dr. Christine Bradley for a term expiring June 30th, 2024. The Equalization Board appointment of Ms. Eva Romano for a term expiring April 1st, 2022. The Farmers Market Board appointment of Mr. Alejandro La Palma Lorenz for a term expiring May 5th, 2026. The Planning Commission appointment of Mr. Ed Henley for a term expiring March 31st, 2025. Traffic and Parking Commission appointments of Mr. Brandon Mason and Mr. Santi Teffel for terms expiring April 3rd, 2026. And the Transit Authority appointment of Ms. Jessica Dauphin for a term expiring June 1st, 2026. There was no objections. We voted 10 in favor, 0 against, and I would move their approval.
Okay. So Councilmember Johnston has moved approval of the names that she just mentioned. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote on all those appointments and reappointments. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. That motion is passed. All right, so those appointments are made. I think you have one more, Councilmember Johnston.
I do. The Electric Power Board appointment of Ms. Ann Davis for a term expiring July 1st, 2026. We voted 9 in favor, 0 against, and 1 abstention.
Okay, so the motion is to approve Ms. Ann Davis for the Electric Power Board, correct?
So moved.
Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Councilmember Rosenberg is listed as an abstention. Ms. Davis is approved for the Electric Power Board. So on behalf of the Metro Council and the City of Nashville, I want to thank all these appointments. I've got the Auditorium Commission, Ms. Jackie Marushka, Electric Power Board, Ms. Ann Davis, Employee Benefits Board, Dr. Christine Bradley, Equalization Board, Ms. Eva Romano, Farmers Market Board, Mr. Alejandro Lorenz, Planning Commission, Mr. Ed Henley, Traffic and Parking Commission, Mr. Brandon Mason, Traffic and Parking Commission, Mr. Santiago Teffel, and Transit Authority, Ms. Jessica Dauphin. Those people have been selected to serve. I hope I didn't mess up their names too badly. Thank you all very much. If you're in the back, would you please stand? There they are. Please join me in thanking them. All right, you all are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to leave, whatever you want to do, okay? We plan to have a short meeting, so we don't want to run you all off, all right? I hope that was for the idea that we were going to have a short meeting. All right, so two things that I forgot to do. I need, because we had a special meeting of the council on April the 29th, 2021, where we heard the mayor's State of Metro address. Those are special meeting minutes. We need to get those approved. Could I have a motion? I got a motion and a proper second to get these things approved. Any discussion on these special meeting minutes? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The special meeting minutes on April 29, 2021 are adopted. The other thing I forgot to mention, and some of you have it, is that our own Nashville Predators are in the playoffs. They did not win last night, but I have good assurances that they're going to take tomorrow's game, and then they will be back here on Friday. So we wish them well in their efforts against some hurricane team from Carolina. All right? All right. Yep. I hear some fang fingers out in the peanut gallery. All right, so we are now back on, we do have on our agenda a public comment period. But it's my understanding that we had one sign up for tonight, and they are not coming. Is that correct, Mr. Washington? So we will not have anybody. There is nobody scheduled tonight for the public comment period, just in case you were wondering. We will be going back to that in case people do want to be heard. The public comment period is going to be starting back as we move back to meeting together physically. All right, we are now ready for consent resolutions and the resolutions. Let me go through items that are on consent. Okay, I'm going to go through the items that are on the consent agenda, and then we will get committee reports. Okay, so item number 1 is not on the consent agenda, but item number 2, 933 is. 935 is on consent. 936 on consent. 937 on consent. 938 on consent. 939 on consent. 940 on consent. 941, 942 on consent. 943 on consent, 44 is on consent, 45 is on consent, 46 is on consent, 47 is on consent, 48 is on consent, 49 is on consent, 951 is on consent, 52 is on consent, 53 is on consent, 54 is on consent, 55 is on consent, 56 is on consent, and 57 is on consent. And that's it. So I think we only have 2 measures that are not on consent. Anything that needs to be taken off the consent calendar? All right, I'm going to start reading those items on the consent calendar, okay? RS 2021-933 by Councilmember Toombs, a resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $404 million in aggregate principal amount of tax anticipation notes to the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, Tennessee. RS 2021-935 by Toombs, a resolution approving a plan for the reappraisal and equalization of assessments in Davidson County, as submitted by the Metropolitan Assessor of Property, approving a MOU between the Assessor of Property and the Tennessee Division of Property Assessment for the responsibilities of parties involved in the 2025 year reappraisal programs for Davidson County. RS 2021-936 by Suara, Toombs, Sledge, and others, resolution authorizing grants not exceeding $9,407,278 from the Barnes Fund for affordable housing to certain nonprofit organizations for the express purpose of constructing and rehabilitating affordable or workforce housing. RS 2021-937 by Councilmember Toombs, resolution approving the appointment of 2 additional commercial hearing officers by the Metropolitan Board of Equalization to conduct preliminary hearings and to make investigations regarding complaints before the board. RS 2021-938, Toombs and Suara, a resolution approving Amendment 3 to a grant from Living Cities to the Metropolitan Government through the Finance Department, support the city's work with the city's Accelerators Retake, Inclusive Procurement Cohort Program, improve the participation of minority and women-owned businesses in Metropolitan Government's procurement process. RS 2021-939 by Toombs, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law settle the personal injury claim of Fred Gangi against the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County in the amount of $9,000. RS 2021-940 by Toombs and Taylor, resolution approving an agreement by and between the Safety Net Consortium of Middle Tennessee and the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Health to participate as a member of organization and newly created entity, the governance structure and bylaws to more effectively further the work of the Safety Net Consortium. RS 2021-941 by Toombs, Taylor, Welsh, and Suara, resolution accepting the Healthy Start Initiative eliminating racial ethnic disparities grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Health to provide a variety of services in reducing infant mortality for pregnant and parenting women. RS 2021-942, Toombs, Van Rees, Allen, and Welsh, a resolution accepting a total grant from the Nashville Public Library Foundation for the Metropolitan Government through the Nashville Public Library to advocate for the library among their peers and the community at large and to represent the library at community events, meetings, and institutions. Item number 11, RS 2021-943 by Withers and Van Rees, a resolution approving a license agreement between the Metropolitan Government through the Board of Parks and Recreation and the U.S. of A., acting by through the Department of the Army to enter certain parks operated and maintained by the Department of Parks and Recreation for limited training purposes. RS 2021-944, Syracuse, Toombs, Van Rees, and Welsh, resolution accepting a grant package from the Friends of Two Rivers Mansion to the Metropolitan Government through the Metropolitan Parks and Recreation Department to provide partial funding for 1 administrative support person and funding for 2 part-time docents to conduct exploratory tours during June, July, and August and the Christmas 2021 season at Two Rivers Mansion. RS 2021-945, Hall, Toombs, Van Rees, and Welsh, resolution accepting an in-kind grant from the Friends of Bells Bend Park to the Metropolitan Government through the Parks Department to provide trail signs to improve visitor experience at the park. RS 2021-946 by Hauser, Toombs, Van Rees, and Welsh, resolution accepting an in-kind grant from the Friends of Red Caboose Park to the Metropolitan Government by acting by and through the Metro Parks and Recreation Department to fund the purchase and installation of 2 square cantilever shades. RS 2021-947 by Henderson, Toombs, and others, resolution accepting a grant from the Friends of Warner Park to the Metropolitan Government through the Parks Department to provide seasonal staffing for the Special Works Education and Trails program at Warner Parks. 2021-948, Henderson, Toombs, and others, resolution accepting an in-kind grant from the Friends of Warner Parks to the Metropolitan Government through the Parks Department to fund the next phase of improvements in the Warner's Parks. RS 2021-949, Henderson, Toombs, and others, a resolution accepting an in-kind grant from the Friends of Warner Park to the Metropolitan Government through the Parks Department to provide funding for restoration and plant removal projects. RS 2021-951 by O'Connell, Taylor, Murphy, and others, a resolution approving a cooperative agreement by and between the Federal Highway Administration and the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Department of Public Works for Charlotte Avenue / Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard Transit Headways and congestion management projects. RS 2021-952 by Toombs, Murphy, and Nash, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the State of Tennessee, Department of Transportation, Metropolitan Government through the Department of Public Works for the acceptance of work in connection with the construction of pedestrian signals and sidewalk improvements on Hamilton Church Road from east of State Route 1 to west of Calumet Drive. RS 2021-953 by Bradford, Glover, Withers, Syracuse, and others, a resolution honoring Chief John Taylor Jr. for his 35 years of service with the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. RS 2021-954 by Councilmember O'Connell, a resolution honoring the life of Dr. Matthew Walker III. RS 2021-955 by Withers and Van Reese, a resolution to recognize Bolton Matthews for his contributions to the culture, economy, development, and panache of the city of Nashville. RS 2021-956, a resolution honoring and congratulating Eddie George as the 22nd head football coach at TSU. And RS 2021-957 by Stiles, Syracuse, Evans, Murphy, and others, a resolution recognizing gun violence as a public health crisis. Those are the items on the consent agenda. Anything need to come off of there? 953 is going to come off. 956 is 956. 956 is coming off, and 957. Anything else? Okay, so let's get some committee reports in. I'm going to start with Councilmember Sawara. There you are, podium number 4. You recognize for affordable housing.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Affordable housing recommend approval on RS 2021-936, 9 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Toombs, Budget and Finance. And you are at podium number 1. There you go.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval 8-4-0 against for Resolution 2021-933, 935, 936, 937, 938, 939, 940, 941, 942, 944, 945, 946, 947, 948, 949, 951, and 952.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. I've got Councilmember Wells standing at a podium. Have you got Health and Hospitals? What have you got? Councilmember Wells, podium number 5, Health and Hospitals.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Health and Hospitals voted approval on RS 2021-940 and RS 2021-941, 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Welsh. Councilmember Van Reese, Parks and Library, you're at podium number 1.
Green light. Yes, sir. For Resolution 942, 943, 944, 945, and 946, we voted 6 in favor, 0 against. And for 947, 948, and 949, we voted 7 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Van Reese. Councilmember Murphy at podium number 9. Got it.
Thank you. Planning, Zoning, and Historical voted on 951 and 952, 15 in favor, 0 against. I think those were the only 2, if you can confirm.
Those were the only 2.
Spectacular. Am I the last one? No, we've got more.
No.
Thank you.
Now you can sit down and then I'll call you back up in a few minutes, okay? Public Works, Councilmember Nash, you're recognized at podium number 6.
Public Works took up 951 and 952. Both were recommended for approval, 9 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Johnston at podium number 2, you're recognized.
Thank you. Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections voted to approve 9 in favor, 0 against RS 2021-954 and 955. And with that, I would move approval of the consent agenda.
All right, so you've heard a motion to approve the consent agenda, properly seconded. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Consent agenda passes. Thank you, council member. Okay, so now we're going to go back to items that are not on the consent agenda. Go back to the first page. Go back to item number 1. This is on page 3 of my calendar. It's RS 2021-932, RS 2021-932 by Councilmember Toombs. This is a resolution establishing the certified tax rate in the General Services District, declaring the amount of the certified rate for the Urban Services District pursuant to the provisions of TCA Section 67-5-1701 et sec. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized at podium number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
All right, just yours, Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance voted to approve the substitute and defer the resolution as substituted to the second meeting in June to track with the budget, 8-4-0 against.
Okay, and back to you, Councilmember Toombs.
At this time, I'd like to move the substitute.
Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved the substitute resolution, properly seconded. Councilmember Toombs, back to you for an explanation.
It's a housekeeping substitute.
Okay. Mr. Cooper, any comments on the substitute? Hold on, let me find you. There you go.
No, the substitute just reflects that it has been approved by the Secretary for the Board of Equalization.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Toombs, motion to approve the substitute, properly seconded. Any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all those in favor of the substitute say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Substitute is passed. Back on your resolution as substitute, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to defer to the second meeting in June, the resolution is substituted in order to track with the budget.
Okay. So the motion is to track this one with the budget. This will go on the second meeting in June, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion to defer to the second meeting in June passes. Thank you, Councilmember Toombs. Okay, the next item on the agenda tonight is it's item number 18. It's RS 2021-950 by Councilmember Hall. It's a resolution approving the property at 4601 Ashland City Highway to be used for a waste transfer facility. Councilmember Hall, you're recognized at podium number 1.
Thank you, Chair. Committee reports.
All right, I got Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy at podium number 9.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning voted 15 in favor, 0 against to defer to the second meeting in June.
All right, and hold on, Councilmember Nash, podium number 6. Public Works.
Public Works recommended deferral to the second meeting in June, 10 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Hall.
Request deferral to the second meeting in June.
Okay, this is a motion to defer to the second meeting in June, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. To the second meeting in June. Thank you, Councilmember Hall. Next item on not on consent was RS 2021-953. That's item number 21. It's a resolution honoring Chief John Taylor Jr. for his 35 years of service with the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. Councilmember Bradford, you are recognized at podium number 2.
Thank you. Committee report.
Okay, I think this one went to rules. Hold on just a second. There we go. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections voted 9 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Bradford.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would just ask that, without objection, all those voting in the affirmative tonight be added as co-sponsors.
Okay, any objection to that? I think we all know Mr. Taylor. He's done an excellent job. Okay. Seeing no objection, everybody voting in favor of this will be listed as a prime sponsor. The motion is to approve, again, properly seconded. Everybody in favor? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution is approved unanimously. Thank you, Councilmember Bradford. We're on RS 2021-956 by Councilmember Hurt. This is a resolution honoring and congratulating Eddie George, the 22nd head football coach at TSU. Councilmember Hurt, did you bring Mr. George, Coach George, to the chamber tonight?
No, Mr. Vice Mayor, I did not.
Okay.
But thank you. I move for committee reports, please.
All right, committee reports. I've got Councilmember Johnston at podium number 2. There you go. Councilmember Johnston.
Thank you. We voted in favor, 9, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Hurt.
Thank you. I move for approval.
Okay, so the motion is to approve RS 2021-956, properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Hancock, you are recognized.
Thank you. I would just like to thank Council Lady Hurt for bringing this resolution to the floor. I think this is an important step for us in bringing TSU to where we need it to be on the national stage. 14 years ago, I beat Eddie George in the Country Music Half Marathon, but I'm certainly not going to get on the football field against him. He's a fantastic guy. He's obviously not doing this for the money, and I think that we need to recognize TSU as the phenomenal institution that it is and hope that they start getting the funding that they deserve. And though my blood runs orange, I might say T is for Tennessee, STATEU University, TSU for Eddie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember, back to you, Councilmember Hurt. Do you think that Coach George knows that Councilmember Hancock beat him in the half marathon?
Well, if she did, I'm sure he was gracious to allow her to do so.
I'm sure.
But I would like to add that this was very important for me because Eddie George was very instrumental with me being able to have the Gateway to Heritage project developed on Jefferson Street, even before I personally knew him. And he was very, very cooperative and excited and went to the commissioner's office at the Tennessee Department of Transportation. And he has been ingrained in that community in ways that many people don't even know. And because of it, I also think that it's very fitting because his colleague and partner, Steve McNair, also had a business on Jefferson Street, Gridiron 9, before he passed away. And I think that this is great for historically black colleges and universities. As many of you know, there's an annual Southern Heritage Classic that is played in Memphis, and a great deal of revenue is generated. And the coach at Jackson State is Deion Sanders, and now Tennessee State has Eddie George. So we're looking for a great matchup, not only on the football field, the coaches, but of course the two bands, the Aristocrata bands and the Jackson State Sonic Boom. So I just encourage you all to support this and vote yes. And I would really like, if not everyone, at least the minority caucus will sign on this resolution so we can just let Eddie and Tennessee State know that that they have our support. And I move for approval. Thank you.
So the motion is to approve. I think I see head shaking that they would all like to be on it. Is that okay, Councilmember Hurt? Everybody on this one? Everybody looks good? All right, so everybody voting in the affirmative will be listed as the prime sponsor on this one. The motion is to approve RS 2021-956. It's been properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes unanimously. We certainly wish Coach George and the TSU Tigers all the best in their upcoming season. We're on item number 25, RS 2021-957, resolution recognizing gun violence as a public health crisis. This is by Councilmember Stiles, Syracuse, Evans, Murphy, and a host of others. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized at podium number 7.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. So the impetus for this resolution was the plethora of mass shootings that occurred not only since January 1st, but in the first week of May, we had back-to-back shootings during that week in Texas and in Colorado. And at the time that I submitted this bill, there were 183 mass shootings. We are now up to 194, which is an average of 10 shootings a week, and that's per the Gun Violence Archive. I just wanted to bring this to our attention that gun violence is definitively a public health crisis and something that we do need to be mindful of and pay attention to and really put boots on the ground to figure out how we are going to address this. I would like to ask that anyone that does vote in the affirmative is added to this bill, and that we are able to figure out how we can work on some solutions, particularly as this does affect our youth in a significant way. So thank you very much, colleagues.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Stiles. We need a committee report.
And committee reports. Forgive me.
Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized for rules.
Rules voted 9 in favor, 0 against.
All right. So Councilmember Stiles is moving for approval of RS 2021-957. Properly seconded. She's asked that everybody voting in the affirmative sign on as a sponsor. Any objection to that? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of RS 2021-957 say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, that completes everything on the resolutions. We do have a late filed resolution. It was in your amendment packet. It's a resolution accepting a Victims of Crime Act, which is known as VOCA, from the Tennessee Department of Finance Administration Office of Criminal Justice Program to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Action Commission to increase access to services for victims often underserved within the community. It is late filed. Councilmember Toombs is the sponsor. I'm going to go to Councilmember Toombs. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move to suspend the rules.
Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved to suspend the rules. Councilmember Johnston, I think it must have come to rules. Did you all take it up?
We did. We had no objection.
All right, so we are back to a request. This is, again, a late file resolution. It's not to exceed $40,000. It's to get us before us tonight. Any objection? Anybody have any objection to the suspension of the rules? Seeing none, Councilmember Toombs, the rules are suspended. You're on your resolution, which is, again, the VOCA grant. Councilmember Toombs.
Move for approval.
All right, I think we have two committee reports. I think you've got one. I think it came before budget, and I believe Health and Hospitals got one because I see Councilmember Welsh at the podium. Councilmember Welsh, I'll go to you first. Health and Hospitals.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Health and Hospitals voted to approve 5-4-0 against.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Toombs.
And Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 8-4-0 against.
All right, now you're on your resolution for passage.
Move for approval.
Councilmember Toombs have moved for passage of the resolution, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes. Thank you. I believe that's it for the consent agenda. Okay. We are now on bills on introduction and first reading. Anything on this list that needs to be considered separately? All right, seeing none, we'll take them all together, if that's okay. No objection. We'll consider all ordinances on first reading in one vote at this time. Is there a motion to approve all bills on introduction, first reading? I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Bills on introduction, first reading are approved. We have a late filed ordinance that needs to be approved. This is the capital improvements budget. Councilmember Toombs, I'm going to ask you to go back up to the podium, if you don't mind. This is the capital improvements budget. It was, by charter, it was filed in time, but it's considered late. It's not on our agenda. So, Councilmember Toombs, I'm going to recognize you for the capital improvements budget.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move to suspend the rules.
All right. So, Councilmember Johnston, back to you. Did it come before rules?
It did, and we had no objection.
All right. So, Councilmember Toombs has moved to suspend the rules to get this matter before us and properly on the calendar. Any objections to suspension of the rules for this one? Seeing none, rules are suspended. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized for your bill to pass on first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
All right, so Councilmember Toombs has moved to approve the capital improvements budget on first reading. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Capital improvements budget is passed on first reading. We are now on bills on second reading, and we do have a consent calendar. Okay, I'll make sure I go through these things. All right, the first one on consent is item number 49. It is on page 16 of my calendar. Item number 49, BL 2021-725, is on consent. 729 is on consent. 730 is on consent. 731 on consent. 732 on consent. 733 on consent. And 734 on consent. Anything need to come off of there? Again, BL 2021-725, 729, 730, 731, 732, 733, and 734 are on the second reading consent calendar, and I see nobody objecting to any of those things on there, so let's go ahead and get them done. First on them up, item number 49, BL 2021-725 by Councilmember Suara, an ordinance to amend Section 2.149.040 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws regarding the Barnes Fund for Affordable Housing. BL 2021-729, that's item 52. Evans, Murphy, Nash, and O'Connell, ordinance to amend the GIS System Street and Alley Centerline layer, Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning a portion of Forest Ridge Drive right-of-way and easement. BL 2021-730, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new sanitary sewer and water mains, sanitary sewer manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for property located at 3449 Brick Church Pike, also known by Village by the Creek, Section 10A. BL 2021-731, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main easements, accept new sanitary sewer and water mains, sanitary sewer manholes, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for property located at 3449 Brick Church Pike, also known as Village by the Creek. Bill 2021-732, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to accept the relocation of existing water main easements for property located at 4619 Hesse Road, intersection of Leona Pass and Earhart Road, also known as the Ashland Park Water Main Relocation. Bill 2021-733, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole easement, except new sanitary sewer main, goober sanitary sewer manholes and easements for property located at 170 Antioch Pike, also known as Darrow Down Sewer Extension, and BL 2021-734 by Hancock, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville to accept sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole, and easement, property located at 526 Myatt Drive. Those are the articles on second reading. Let me get some committee reports. Councilmember Suara, you're the first one. Recognize you at podium number 4.
Affordable Housing recommend approval on BL 2021-725, 8 for, 1 against.
All right. Wait a minute. 8 for, 1 against? Okay. So, so this one actually has to come off of consent, okay? So 725 is no longer on consent because it had a negative vote. All right. Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy, you're back at podium number 9.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning voted for 730, 731, 732, 733, 734, all 15 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. Did you also have 729?
Yes, we did. That was also 15 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Murphy. Councilmember Nash, you're recognized on items on the second reading consent agenda.
We took up 729 and recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against. And then we also took up 730, 731, 732, 733, and 734. Recommended approval on all of those, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Nash. Councilmember O'Connell, you've got 1. You're recognized at podium number 2.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had BL 2021-729 in the Traffic, Parking, and Transportation Committee, and we recommended 5 in favor, 0 against to approve.
All right, and you're the last one, so if I could get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
All right, properly moved, properly seconded. Any discussion, any items on this second reading consent agenda? Seeing none, we are ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Second reading consent agenda passes. All right, so now we're going to go back and take up items that were not on the consent agenda. Let's go back. Go all the way back to item number 42, the first bill under bills on second reading. This is BL 2019-4 by Councilmember Sledge. Ordinance amending Chapter 6.04 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws to prohibit aerial advertising. Councilmember Sledge. Councilmember Sledge? There he is. Councilmember Sledge, we're on 2019-4. It's the ordinance to prohibit aerial advertising. We go to you on podium number 8.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I believe this is deferred by rule.
It is deferred by rule. Do we need committee reports for any reason? Okay, so it is automatically deferred by rule. One meeting? One meeting. All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Items number 43 and 44, I believe these can be taken together. Councilmember Rosenberg. Going to put you at podium number 10. All right. These can, I believe, again, can be taken together. 2021-654, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws by changing from RM2 to RS40, property located at 6,000 River Valley Drive, southeast corner of River Valley Drive and Newsom Station Road, located within a planned unit development overlay. And BL 2021-655 by Councilmember Rosenberg, ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of the Riverwalk Planned Unit Development District located at 6,000 River Valley Drive at the southeast corner of River Valley Drive, Newsom Station Road, 58.48 acres. Councilmember Rosenberg on both your bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee report, please.
Committee reports, Planning and Zoning. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Thank you. On both of these bills, we voted 15 in favor, 0 against to defer one meeting.
Okay. Councilmember Rosenberg?
One meeting, please.
All right. And I believe Councilmember Mendez has to abstain on both these things. So the motion is to defer one meeting on 2021-654 and 655. Properly seconded. Again, Councilmember Mendez is abstaining. All those in favor of the one meeting deferral on both those measures say aye. Opposed, no. Both bills 654 and 655 are deferred one meeting. Item number 45, Bill 2021-693 by Councilmember Hall. Ordinance establishing a special solid waste commission to review and identify solutions for the long-term disposal of Nashville solid waste. Councilmember Hall at podium number 1.
Committee reports, please.
All right, I've got Public Works. Councilmember Nash, you're recognized.
Public Works recommended as substituted for approval, 10 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. And I've also got Rules. Councilmember Johnston. We are on BL 2021-693.
Thank you. We voted 10 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. With the substitute, do you remember? Councilmember Johnston?
I'm so sorry.
That's right.
We voted,
There was a substitute added on.
yes, so as substituted, we voted 10 in favor, 0 against.
All right, there you go. Thank you. Councilmember Hall, you're recognized on your bill.
I'd like to move the substitute, please.
All right, so Councilmember Hall has a substitute that he would like to move. Properly seconded. Councilmember Hall, explanation, or Mr. Cooper?
Mr. Cooper, please.
All right, let me find Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper, you're recognized.
Yes, the substitute is a rewrite of the bill that was done in conjunction with the administration, between Councilmember Hall and the administration. It makes several changes. It adds recycling to the scope of review. It would address both the long-term and near-term disposal issues facing Metro. It adds a couple recitals referencing Metro's solid waste master plan. It would change the composition of the commission from 11 members to 12 members and would remove the designated officials that were listed in the original bill. Instead, they would be private citizens appointed by the mayor and confirmed by council, which would include, well, it'd be private citizens and some Metro staff who have knowledge about sustainability and solid waste issues, along with finance and commercial development. The report would be due within 6 months, but that due date could be extended by resolution.
All right, Councilmember Hall, back to you.
I'd like to move for approval, please.
All right, so Councilmember Hall has moved for approval of the substitute. Again, properly seconded. Discussion on the substitute. Seeing none, we're ready to vote on the substitute. All in favor of the substitute say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute's adopted. Councilmember Hall, you're on BL 2021-693 as substituted.
Move for approval as substituted, please.
All right, so the motion is to approve BL 2021-693 as substituted. Properly second. Discussion on the measure. We're on second reading. Seeing nobody in the queue, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of this bill as substituted on second reading say aye. Opposed, no. BL 2021-693 as substitute passes on second reading. Thank you, Councilmember Hall. Stay up there because you got item number 46. BL 2021-694 by Councilmember Hall and Hurt. Ordinance requiring all existing culverts, inlets, storm drains, and ditches within the T2 rural neighborhood policy and T3 suburban neighborhood policy to be upgraded, retrofitted, and/or constructed to current stormwater management manual standards by December 31st, 2026. Councilmember Hall, you're recognized at podium number 1.
Committee report, please.
All right, I got Budget and Finance. Councilmember Toombs, she's taking over podium number 1.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval as substituted with a re-referral to Budget and Finance Committee, 8-4-0 against.
All right, thank you. Re-referral back to budget? That we go, okay. All right, and then Public Works, Councilmember Nash.
Public Works recommended approval as substituted, 9 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. Any re-referral back to Public Works or no, Councilmember Nash? Okay.
There's no re-referral.
All right, Councilmember Hall, back to you at podium number 1.
I'd like to move the substitute, please.
Okay, so Councilmember Hall has moved the substitute. This is the substitute that Councilmember Gamble has. Is that right? All right, so Councilmember Hall has moved Councilmember Gamble's substitute. Properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the substitute, or I can go to Councilmember Gamble. Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized on the substitute.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This substitute, the purpose of it is to change the intent just a bit to focus more on reviewing what is needed to get the existing culverts, inlets, storm drains, and ditches up to standard of the current stormwater management standards. So instead of actually requiring that the work be done, this substitute proposes to actually have Metro Water Services review these things, particularly in the T2, T3 suburban neighborhood policies, in an effort to get ahead of any pursuing development that may be coming to the area. This is a forward-thinking attempt to look and see what the needs are in these areas particularly. However, after speaking with the administration, we're considering adding an amendment on 3rd to include all of the transects in the community character manual. But the idea is to be forward-thinking, get the information and data needed in order to make prudent and educated decisions about what needs to be done to get our stormwater management up to standard and what the cost will be going forward prior to development. And then this is being a proactive approach as opposed to being reactive and trying to figure out how to fix things after pending development comes in. So the purpose of this substitute is to review, not replace at this point, but review all of the transect areas, and actually this will work in tandem with Metro Water's master plan, which they will begin working on for the entire county in addressing stormwater and flooding issues around our waterways. So this would work in tandem with that, and it would also provide a subset of information regarding these transect areas.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Gamble. I'm going to go to Councilmember Hall, and then I'm going to go to Councilmember Hurt. Councilmember Hall, back to you.
Actually, if you'd like to go to Councilmember Hurt,
Okay,
we can.
Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor, for giving me an opportunity to make a comment. And I appreciate the sponsor and the sponsor of the substitute, but I just want to make it a matter of record that I am concerned about our infrastructure, period, from all the development that has taken place over the years. I served on the original Stormwater Committee, and when the consent decree had come down from EPA. And while I appreciate the growth and the new that's coming in, I want to make sure that we sustain and support those who have been here for years. And they are experiencing flooding problems and stormwater issues and have been for decades. And for us to overlook them in order to help with the new, I think is irresponsible on our part, and I think it also poses a liability for us as a city. And I think we should do much better in taking care of those who stood by us when Nashville was a city for our neighborhoods, and now it is the 22nd largest city in this nation, and the growth speaks to that. And I'm concerned that so much of it is going to collapse the infrastructure that we have. So I don't know if we need to slow down our development, but I definitely know that the developers should not dictate what it is that we do as a city. So whatever we have to do moving forward, I hope that we will take care of those that have been here and need it the most. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hurt. All right, Councilmember Hall, I'm going to come back to you. What we have in front of us is a motion to approve the substitute. All right, Councilmember Hall?
I'd like to move the substitute, please.
Okay, so Councilmember Hall has come back. Motion is to approve the substitute. Again, it was properly seconded. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized. Okay, so that's it in the queue. We are ready to vote. All those in favor of the substitute on BL 2021-694, say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute is passed. Councilmember Hall, you're on BL 2021-694 as substituted.
I'd like to move as substituted with, again, re-referral back to the Budget and Finance.
All right, so the motion is to pass on second reading BL 2021-694 as substituted with the re-referral back to Budget and Finance. Councilmember Hart, your button is still pushed. I'm just making sure you don't have any other comments. Councilmember Hart, your button's still pushed. You good? Okay. So we are ready to vote. All those in favor of the motion to approve 694 as substituted with the re-referral back to budget, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you, Councilmember Hall. Item number 47, BL 2021-718 by Councilmember Cash and Murphy. Ordinance to amend Title II of the Metropolitan Code, Chapter 2.76 related to the Board of Electrical Examiners and Appeals, 2.84 related to the Board of Gas Mechanical Examiners and Appeals, and 2.92 related to the Board of Plumbing Examiners and Appeals. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized at podium number 9.
Thank you, Chair. Committee reports.
You've got one of them.
Yep.
So give me that one, and then I'm going to go to Councilmember Johnston for rules.
Right. We approved the amendment 6-0, and then the bill as amended 6-0.
All right. And then Councilmember Johnston, rules.
Thank you. We voted 10 in favor, 0 against for the amendment, and 10 in favor, 0 against for the bill as amended.
All right. So back to you, Councilmember Cash. You're on BL 2021-718.
I'd like to move the bill, but I'd like for us to, we have an amendment. Councilmember Murphy has an amendment.
I see Councilmember Murphy hiding over there at number 8. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized on an amendment. You're recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to move the amendment with a brief explanation.
All right, so there's a motion to approve amendment to 2021-718, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the amendment.
Thank you. I think that our analysis explained really well why these 3 boards are being consolidated. It makes sense for a variety of reasons, but when you look closer, when these boards function now, they have seats designated for union representation. And when they were consolidated, the original legislation deleted that union representation. And so I appreciate the administration and the Codes Department being open to our amendment, and Councilman Cash working on this as well, that we will now have, instead of having a lower number or a lower percentage of union representation on these 3 boards, in the consolidated board, they will have a higher percentage. While it is still only 3 members on a smaller board, that is more important, and it is always important to have workers represented in these situations and on these boards. So with that, I appreciate your support and ask for approval.
All right, so Councilmember Murphy has moved an amendment to BL 2021-718. It was properly seconded. Discussion on the amendment. Seeing nobody in the queue. Councilmember Cash, you good?
I was just going to say I think I appreciate Councilmember Murphy's work on this and think it definitely makes the bill better. I'm in support of it.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Cash. Okay, so we're voting on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, no. Amendment passes. Councilmember Cash, you're on your bill 718 as amended.
I'd like to move the bill as amended with a brief explanation.
All right, so Councilmember Cash has moved 2021-718 as amended. Properly seconded. Back to you.
As Councilmember Murphy pointed out, this is a consolidation of 3 boards. The Codes Department says basically since we standardized some of our codes in these areas, there have been very few appeals. I also understand sometimes it can be a little tough to fill these positions because you have to have technical expertise. or professional expertise. So it makes sense to me, and now that there is some guaranteed union representation on the Consolidated Committee, I am in support and hope my fellow council members will as well.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Cash. Okay, so Councilmember Cash has moved Bill 2021-718 as amended, can properly seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, we're on second reading. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Bill passes as amended. Thank you, Councilmember Cash.
Thank you.
We are on Bill 2021-720 by Councilmember Stiles, ordinance to amend Section 16.24.330 of the Metropolitan Code to require homeowners association signs. Councilmember Stiles, you recognize the podium number 7.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Cash at podium number 9.
We voted on a substitute, 5 in favor and 1 abstention. And then we voted 6-0 to defer until, I believe, the first meeting in July. Is that correct? First meeting in July?
Yes, that is
Yes.
correct.
All right. Back to you, Councilmember Stiles.
Yes, so I would like to defer this until the first meeting in July, please.
Okay, so the motion is to defer to the first meeting in July? Is that up to her? Councilmember Stiles, you've got a substitute. Do you want to vote on that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Councilmember Stiles, what I'm doing is going to come back to you before we get to the motion to defer. Do you want to move your substitute?
Yes, please, with a brief comment.
All right, so I got a motion to approve the substitute, properly seconded. Back to you for an explanation of the substitute.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So the substitute basically exempts HPRs and also states that the signs would be made of metal or wood in every community.
Okay, so you've heard an explanation of the substitute. Any questions on the substitute? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of passage of the substitute on Bill 2021-720 say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute is on. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized on your bill as substituted.
Thank you very much. I would like to defer the bill until the first meeting in July.
Okay, so the motion is to defer to the first meeting in July, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion to defer is passed to the first meeting in July. Okay. We're on Bill 2021-725 by Councilmember Sawara. This was the one we thought was on consent initially. This is an ordinance to amend Section 2.149.040 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws regarding the Barnes Fund for Affordable Housing. Councilmember Sawara, you are recognized at podium number 4.
The reports, please.
All right.
That would be mine.
That would be your committee report. You're recognized, yeah.
Affordable Housing recommends approval, 8 in favor, 1 against.
Okay, so back to you, Councilmember Sawara.
I'd like to move for approval with a brief comment.
All right, so I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. This bill was put together with the assistance of Ms. Brown and Ms. Davidson in the mayor's office. And I said a lot in affordable housing yesterday. I don't want to repeat it all. But we have a problem with affordable housing, and we need to look into different ways of doing it. High numbers is one, but also diversity in the type of housing is another one we need to look into. So what this bill is basically doing is setting aside up to 20% for small non-for-profits that has a housing budget of no more than $1 million and overall budget of $4 million. Again, these numbers were put together with the help of the great ladies in housing. And the idea is that it allows more entry into the affordable housing business. This 20% will make sure that it covers rehabilitation, it covers new building, it also covers capacity building. We are at the point where we need to increase the players in affordable housing. I know Councilmember Allen is looking into another pilot that will do for-profit, and this one allows for smaller non-for-profit to be able to have the capacity building, to be able to get into rehabilitation, to be able to help in diversifying the type of housing that we have. I do want to say that the bill did say that it has to be qualified non-for-profit, so if we don't find anyone, it doesn't have to happen. It also says that if no one applies, then it can be used for whoever qualifies. So it's not a mandate that it has to be. It's strongly recommended. And I think that we have a lot of non-for-profit that have lamented about not being able to get in the housing business, that we have the same providers all the time. And so this allows us to enlarge the pool, diversify the type of housing, but also leaving a caveat that doesn't make us just leave money on the side if no one qualifies. And with that, I move for approval.
Okay, so you've heard Councilmember Saguaro has moved for approval of Bill 2021-725, properly seconded. Discussion on the bill. We've got discussion. Councilmember Withers, there you are, podium number 8.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Mayor, and I definitely appreciate the efforts of Councilmember Suara to advocate for affordable housing, and I know that capacity building has been something that we're talking about quite a bit during the last term as well. It definitely is a priority in our city. I listened to the discussion yesterday in the Affordable Housing Committee, and I just want to go on record as saying that I have been extremely impressed by the diligence and the thoughtfulness with which the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Commission has really looked at all of these issues, even down to the level of what is the diversity of the board of the organization that's coming before us. I really feel like our commission is really focused on these equity issues and focused on capacity building. Just one of the things that I just kind of struggle with a little bit is the Metro Council, I think, kind of micromanaging that a little bit through legislation. I think that we could even maybe do it as a resolution that says that this is our intent, but I just worry about getting to that level of kind of micromanaging what already is a very, very small pie, and it is too small in terms of our affordable housing funding. So that's just the only thing that makes me a little bit uncomfortable with this. I do think that Councilmember Suarez has done a great job of working with the mayor's office, the Affordable Housing Department, and even allowing flexibility here. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with using an ordinance approach to express this priority, and that's all. But thank you, and I appreciate the sponsor for bringing the legislation.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Withers. Councilmember Saguaro?
Thank you. Thank you for that point, and it's a great one, and we did think about that. But I think that as we're looking into what we need to do, everything we do in here is to ensure that there's a continuation. We have a board that does that now. We have an housing staff that does that now. But we need to make sure that it continues. And if there's a time to think about capacity building, as we're adding more money into the housing fund, this is the time to talk about it and to make sure that they have the tools to do that. So this allows them, if they're already doing it, it encourages it, but it also makes sure that if there's ever a time, and I say this from hearing from smaller non-for-profits complaining that they couldn't get in. And so this is a way to say that we trust you, and we still, trust your judgment, but this is what we would like to see happen within that. And so if anything changes, this is the will of this body, and I think that this is the way to go about doing it. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Suara. Councilmember O'Connell, I'm recognizing you at podium number 2.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think following on Councilmember Withers' remarks and observations here, I'm pretty concerned about this because housing is such an at-scale project, right? If a small organization here is very different even than in a direct service model because the cost of creating housing is particularly expensive, right? I mean, we struggle to create housing units at smaller than 6 figures in terms of overall cost. If we're creating single units in single-family neighborhoods, if we're creating larger multifamily units, these tend to be projects that are undertaken at some greater scale, and I think 20% of an already small fund to be required to be dedicated to smaller organizations, I think there is a better way to do capacity building. I'm not convinced that this legislation is that better approach, so I'm going to have a hard time supporting this one.
All right, thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Anybody else wishing to speak on this? Oh, Councilmember Sledge, you're recognized at podium number 9. There you go.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And so as your current liaison on the commission, just to give a little bit of insight on how we typically do this, for every funding round, the commission has spoken through or has talked through kind of what the priorities they see as we go through sort of from award cycle to award cycle. We meet with nonprofit developers, small and large, and with staff to talk about kind of what they're seeing in the market, what the needs might be, what are some ways that we can do better, especially, I will stress, as I have before this body, about geographic diversity and where the housing applications are coming from, as we're encouraging our nonprofit developers to develop in those. Recently, in some of the most recent rounds, including the ones that we just approved tonight, we have made it a point to make sure that we understand what the unit cost is, as has been brought up previously. And I will tell you, there's a substantial difference between a project that might have an established organization and one that might be building, quite frankly, at scale and has other funds that it can leverage with the Barnes Fund, versus a smaller or new entry to the market who may be doing, a 2 or a duplex or a quadplex. And sometimes, I will be quite frank with you, we are building at a cost that's not probably too far off from market cost. And what we are doing as a commission is making sure that those units are made affordable. So we have in the past put forth as rules, as has been stated before, percentages to say we're going to create a small organization fund or a large organization fund. We've bifurcated, and what we've tried to do as a commission is be flexible. We've had to be flexible, quite honestly, through the years because we don't ever know how much funding we're getting from year to year and from cycle to cycle. So I do wonder a little bit how legislating this might be in some ways at odds with the way that the commission operates, because the commission does keep this sort of top of mind. But when new challenges arise in this ever-changing market that we deal with, I do want to make sure that the commission and the fund itself is able to be flexible to respond to those changes. And I have a little bit of concern that this may lock in some funds that otherwise could be used differently. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Sawara, I'll come back to you.
Thank you. I want to encourage my colleague to support this. This comes in response to complaint about capacity building, about entry, about people that have land in little neighborhoods that wants to develop it, about organizations that are mission-based, that want to be able to help the very low 0 to 30% AMI that we're not doing a lot of. Councilmember Allen will attest to this as we talk in the housing task force. There's a lot of housing that we're putting up, and we're not having enough for workforce and below 60%. But we need to make sure that we have some for those that are very, very low, and this is what this is attempting to do. Like I said, in order to even come up with this, I sat with Ms. Davis and Ms. Brown, and I thought they were still here. They could have, they spoke so eloquently about this yesterday, and the language and the wording actually was drafted with them, knowing how the commission works. This is not to limit the work of the commission. This is to ensure that that continues and that we're intentional about making sure that that is in there. If there is a time to do this, it is now. We're talking about adding more funds to Barnes Fund. I've been on this floor where people don't want to add more funds to Barnes Funds because of the lack of entry and because of the diversity in the developers. If there's a time to do that, as we're talking about, let's put more money, which we need, I think this is the time to do this. And with that, I renew my motion for approval.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Sawara. Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I stand in support of this, and I want to thank the sponsor for working so diligently on this. I wish there were a do better bill for nonprofits. When people are intentional about making sure that everyone benefits from things like the Barnes Funds, then I think we wouldn't need legislation such as this to help support. And I understand that there should be ways and means of capacity building for those smaller nonprofit organizations, but they don't do it. Those nonprofits who are in position and are doing well with over 100 units and properties that they have developed have had some support and some intentional opportunities given to them. Those in the neighborhoods and communities have less opportunity, and it's very difficult for them. So putting something in place when there has been an influx of money coming into this city to help and support affordable housing, I am very much in support of making some way in order to support those nonprofit organizations who want to serve their communities but lack the capacity and the resources to do so. So I ask our colleagues to support this legislation, and thanks to our Councilmember Suara for sponsoring it.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hart. That is it in the queue. We are on BL 2021-725 by Councilmember Suara. The motion is to approve on second reading. It's been properly seconded. Anybody else in the queue? Seeing none, we are ready to vote. Again, we're on second reading, Bill 2021-725. Motion is to approve on second reading. All those in favor on second reading for approval, say aye. Opposed, no. Yeah. All right, so it's a little hard to hear up here, but it was close enough where I think we need to go to the machine. So, Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask you to open up the machine for a vote. Let me find you. So let me again remind you where we are. We're on BL 2021-725 by Councilmember Suara. It's an ordinance to amend Section 2.149.040 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws regarding the Barnes Fund for affordable housing. This is on second reading. Councilmember O'Connell, do you have a question? Okay. All right. So we are, Madam Clerk, you good?
Yes.
All right. So again, remember, we're voting. This is on second reading. We're voting on approval of BL 2021-725. Madam Clerk, open up the machines.
Machines are open.
Machines are open.
The mouse.
Oh, so is there a problem out there? They need to use the mouse? Yeah, if your touch thing isn't working, use the mouse. We're very technically compliant here, okay? Anybody having problems? Everybody good?
I believe so, Vice Mayor. I'm just checking to make sure that everyone got to register their vote if they wanted to. All votes are in.
Okay, all votes are in. Close the machine, take the vote. Okay, so it's nay 16, yes 16, 1 abstention, and 7 absence. It says motion failed. Bring it back because I think it's a tie vote. Okay. So is that right? I'm just confirming. Madam Clerk, you checking? 16 to 16?
That is what it says, Vice Mayor. So.
All right, so I cast the deciding ballot. So I will vote in favor of the bill on second reading, so it'll keep the bill alive so you can have further discussion. Okay, so Councilmember Suara, I'm voting, there you are, I'm voting in favor of your bill. Okay, so it passes to move on to third reading, all right? All right, we're now on item number 50, Bill 2021-727 by Councilmember Roberts, Toombs, Murphy, and Nash. This is an ordinance declaring surplus and approving the disposition of a parcel of real property known as 0 American Road. Councilmember Roberts I don't think is here. Councilmember Toombs, can you handle this one? BL 2021-727.
All right, Mr. Vice Mayor, committee report.
All right, it's Budget and Finance for the first one.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend a deferral as amended, 8-4-0 against.
All right. Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy, you're on podium number 9.
I thought we voted 15 in favor, 0 against to approve. Is that correct, Mr. Cooper?
It was deferred in Budget and Finance and approved in Planning. So I think you're right. Okay. Councilmember Nash, Podium number 6, Public Works.
Public Works voted to defer one meeting, 9 in favor, 0 against.
Okay. So it was deferred in Budget and Finance, deferred in Public Works, but it was passed in Planning. Councilmember Toombs, I know there's an amendment on, but I believe, if I'm looking at this right, one of them was deferred by rule. I think we looked at this one before. Is that right? Budget and Finance?
I think yes, it is a deferral by rule since we have a deferral by committee.
All right, so it's an automatic deferral by rule, so it just defers one meeting, okay? So thank you, Councilmember Toombs, for handling it. So that will show up in one meeting. It's just automatically deferred by rule. We're on BL 2021-728 by Councilmember Rutherford, Murphy, Nash, and O'Connell. Ordinance to amend the GIS system, street and alley centerline layout for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by renaming a portion of Blake Drive from Sunnywood Drive to the end to Sweet Oak Court. Councilmember Rutherford, way in the back, podium number 7. I see you. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee reports.
Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized.
Without the Emergency Communications District report in, it had to be deferred one meeting.
That's right. All right, so Public Works, Councilmember Nash, podium number 6.
Agreed to defer one meeting, 8 in favor, 0 against.
All right, Traffic and Parking, Councilmember O'Connell, hold on. Traffic and Parking.
Thank you, Mr. President. We voted 5 in favor, 0 against for a one-meeting deferral.
All right, Councilmember Rutherford, on your bill.
I move a one-meeting deferral. Thank you.
Councilmember Rutherford has moved a one-meeting deferral, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Bill is deferred one meeting. Thank you, Councilmember Rutherford. Is that it? I think that's it on bills on second reading. All right, that takes care of the bills on second reading. We are now on bills on third reading. Let me go through those. There's a bunch of them. The first one is not 620, but 634 is on consent. 635 is on consent. 668 is on consent. 669, 675, 706, 707, 708, 710, 711, 712, 713, 714, 715, 717, 715, and 717, 723, and 724. So everything is on consent except the first bill. 675 is going to be taken off consent. That's item number 63. So we have two bills not on consent, 620, and then item number 63, 675 is also not on consent. Everything else is. Okay? And I believe, Councilmember Murphy, just get ready because you're the only committee report. All right, bills on third reading on the consent calendar. Here they go. Bill 2021-634 by Councilmember Sledge, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS, IWD, MULA, OR20, RM20A, R6, and R6A to MUNANS, MULANS, RM20ANS, CSNS, and OR20NS. Various properties located south of Lafayette Street and north of Wedgwood Avenue. It's 173.99 acres. Bill 2021-635 by Councilmember Sledge. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying an urban design overlay district to various properties located south of Lafayette Street and north of Wedgwood Avenue, Zone CS, IWD, MULA, OR20, RM20A, R6, and R6A, 187.81 acres. Bill 2021-668 by Councilmember Sledge. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R6A to SP zoning for properties located at 1321 and 1323 Pillow Street at the northwest corner of Merritt Avenue and Pillow Street, 0.46 acres to permit a maximum of 37 multifamily residential units. Bill 2021-669 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 7.5 to R6A zoning for property located at Monticello Street, unnumbered at the corner of Winstead Avenue and Monticello Street. It's 0.18 acres. Excuse me. Bill 2021-706 is item number 64 by Councilmember Parker. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CL and RS5 to SP zoning for properties located at 1411, 1413 Dickerson Pike, and 198, 200, and 204 Gatewood Avenue, approximately 260 feet east of Dickerson Pike at 6.77 acres, permit a mixed-use development. BL 2021-707, Taylor is the sponsor. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 1407 14th Avenue North, approximately 70 feet northwest of Hyman Street. It's 0.19 acres. BL 2021-708 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Government Code of Laws by changing from R8 to RM20A NS zoning for properties located at 917, 919, 921 West Trinity Lane, approximately 720 feet east of Old Buena Vista Road. It's 0.53 acres. BL 2021-710 by Councilmember Evans, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SP to SP zoning for property located at Earhart Road, unnumbered, approximately 2,290 feet north of Hesse Road at 69.76 acres. BL 2021-711 by Councilmember Welsh, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 to OL zoning for property located at 81 Thompson Lane, northeast corner of Tuckle Avenue and Thompson Lane, 0.28 acres. BL 2021-712 by Councilmember Parker, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 1518 Jones Avenue, approximately 70 feet north of Marshall Street, 0.19 acres. BL 2021-713 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R8 to RM20A NS zoning for properties located at 1011, 1013, 1015 West Trinity Lane, approximately 430 feet west of Old Buena Vista Road. Is 2.5 acres. BL 2021-714 by Councilmember Van Rees, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 to R8A zoning for property located at 3125 Hillside Road, approximately 240 feet south of Maplewood Trace, 0.53 acres. BL 2021-715 by Councilmember Sledge, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IWD to SP zoning for properties located at Bianca Page Way, unnumbered, 307 Bianca Page Way and 1414, 1500, and 1502 4th Avenue South, located on either side of Bianca Page Way and approximately 470 feet north of Mallory Street, 5.54 acres. BL 2021-717 by Councilmember Johnston, Suara, and Taylor, an ordinance providing for the waiver of certain building permit fees for the repair or rebuilding of property damage such as the March 27, 28, 21, 2021 flooding, and amending Section 16.28.100 of the Metropolitan Code to allow for the waiver of permit fees in the event of future disasters. Item number 74, BL 2021-723 by Sledge, Murphy, and Nash, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing water main and easements to accept new water main and fire hydrant assembly and easements for two properties located at 1302A and 1302B Pillow Street, also known as the Pillow Street Water Main Extension, and BL 2021-724 by Councilmember Sledge, Murphy, Nash, and O'Connell, an ordinance to amend the GIS System Street and Alley Center Line layout for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by abandoning an unnumbered alley right-of-way and easement from 18th Avenue South to alley number 442. Those are the items on the third reading consent agenda. Anything needs to be bumped off? Seeing none, I need committee reports. That's Councilmember Murphy and Councilmember Murphy alone. At podium number 9, you're recognized.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning voted 15 in favor, 0 against on 634, 635, 669, 706, 707, 708, 709, 711, 712, 713, 714, 715. With all committee reports in, I move approval.
All right, so Councilmember Murphy has moved approval of all items on the third reading consent agenda. Properly seconded. Any questions? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of all items on the third reading consent agenda say aye. Opposed, no. Third reading consent agenda passes. All right, I think we've got 2 bills left. BL 2021-620 by Councilmember Allen. It's item number 58. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 17.36 and 17.40 of Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code to create a detached accessory dwelling unit overlay district. Councilmember Allen, you are recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I have a late filed amendment that the staff has asked that I move to correct a typographical error.
Okay. So Councilmember Allen has a late filed amendment that I assume you're going to have to move to suspend the rules on. All right. So I'll tell you what. Let me. Can you explain what the late filed amendment is, and then I'm going to go. Did you go to Rules Committee? Or
no, sir. This came up after we began the meeting, so I have not.
Came up during the meeting. Okay. So so we're going to have to move to suspend the rules. It did not go through rules. Can you just give everybody an explanation of what this amendment is?
Yeah, I will try, and if it doesn't make sense, then I will defer to Ms. Zeitlin over there. In the wording of the document, it talks about all the different types of overlays that are currently available, but it accidentally left out residential accessory structure overlays, which is one that we just recently passed, and this adds that language back in, as opposed to the duplication of detached accessory dwelling units, which was in there twice inadvertently.
All right, so you've heard an explanation of the amendment.
She says I did it right,
She said you did it right. Who are you looking at?
Ms. Eitland.
Oh, Ms. Eitland said. Ms. Eitland has 2 thumbs up, so we're good. All right, so the amendment is to clarify,
Fix that
get that
language.
fixed. We will have to suspend the rules to get this before us. Councilmember Bradford, on the amendment? Okay. So is there objection to suspension of the rules to get the amendment before this group? Any objection to suspension of the rules? Seeing none, rules are suspended. Councilmember Allen, let's get your amendment on.
Thank you. I would like to move the amendment, please.
So Councilmember Allen has moved to amend Bill 2021-620 with this late filed amendment, properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Amendment goes on. Councilmember Allen, you're on your bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would like to move the bill as amended with a brief explanation.
Okay, so I got a motion to approve, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. We have not had a meeting go by where we have not talked about housing affordability. We just finished a bill before this one about housing affordability. And as Councilmember Suara has said several times, we need every tool we can have in our tool chest. We have served on the Affordable Housing Task Force together, and that is the main thing that group has advocated for, is creating as many tools as possible to create housing options in Nashville so that people will be able to afford to live near jobs and transit. The reason this bill is needed is to create yet another option. It is not changing anyone's zoning. It is simply creating a new type of overlay, of which we now have a dozen, and they're listed correctly in the bill now. Similar to historic overlays or conservation zoning overlays or contextual overlays. There are many types of overlays. This adds one more as a tool to sit on the shelf if a neighborhood wants it. This in particular would add housing diversity and affordability, particularly for millennials and retirees, which are the 2 fastest growing demographics in Nashville. What it would do would allow DADUs, detached accessory dwelling units, in zoning RS where they currently are not allowed, with the existing DADU guidelines that are already spelled out in our zoning code and have been in that zoning code for a couple of years now. I have met with a number of neighborhood groups. I've had community meetings. We've deferred this for a while so that more questions could be answered about it. And as a response to concerns that were expressed, we've added a number of restrictions to try to ensure that this is a tool for neighbors and not anything that anyone should feel threatened by. So as a result of those discussions, this is only available inside the urban zoning overlay, which is the older historic part of Nashville that was built generally before 1958. It requires a minimum of 30 contiguous lots. It can't share lot lines with someone who is not in the overlay, and it specifically does not allow short-term rental in any DADUs that are built after this overlay is applied. So I've tried very hard to be responsive to the concerns. I hope that people understand this better. There is a fact sheet on everyone's desk, and if you still have constituents with questions, I hope that will enable you to answer those questions. So I'm asking for your support to create a tool that can be used. It does not change anyone's zoning anywhere. It will require going through a councilmatic process of community meetings and 3 votes and the red and white signs going up before anything changes for anyone. This is just a tool. So with that, I would ask for your support.
Okay, you've heard Councilmember Allen. She has moved for approval of Bill 2021-620 as amended tonight on 3rd reading. It was properly seconded. Questions? I have nobody in the queue. Any questions? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Okay, so we are voting on Bill 2021-620 as amended. We'll try by voice vote first. All those in favor of 2021-620 as amended, say aye. Opposed, no. So we do have to do a machine. So I heard a no, so pursuant to the rules, we will have to go on the machine. Madam Clerk, if you would. If you will prepare the machines, we are voting on Bill 2021-620 as amended on third and final reading. Madam Clerk, tell me when you're ready.
We're ready to start the voting.
We are ready to start voting. Madam Clerk, open up the machines.
Vice Mayor, one person indicated that they wish to vote no, I understood, and I'm not seeing their vote being recorded.
Okay, keep the machines open.
Okay. Mr. Druffel, did you want to vote? Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Druffel, you having trouble? Madam Clerk, we got everybody in?
Yes.
Okay, we've got everybody in. Close the machines. The vote is 28 yeses, 5 noes, 0 abstentions, 7 not voting. So the motion passes. Bill passes on third reading. All right, so we're now on Bill 2021-675. I believe that's the last bill on the calendar tonight. Councilmember Toombs, Stiles, Benedict, and Taylor. It's an ordinance to amend Chapter 3.52 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to elected official compensation. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized at podium number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval with a brief explanation.
All right, so all the committee reports are in. Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval. Properly seconded. Back to you, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. So months ago, when we had the conversations regarding council member benefits, an issue that arose through those conversations was council member compensation and whether or not it was adequate. And there are many stories of, the vast majority, if not all of us, work 40 plus hours a week for this, even though it's classified as a part-time job. So in listening to comments from council, as well as from the council benefits special committee that you put together, Mr. Vice Mayor, even some of those members brought up the compensation of council members. And so I introduced this legislation. I worked with Director Cooper as well as HR Director Shannon Hall, and based off discussions in committee, did a substitute that opened it up so it's not just limited to council members, it's elected officials, so it includes the vice mayor as well as the mayor. It's a compensation study that's once every term. It doesn't impact current council members. The approximate cost of the study is roughly $25,000. It's not nefarious or selfish to believe that elected officials should be fairly compensated, and this is looking out for future councils. It aids in the diversity of council. Perhaps if council members and elected officials were paid appropriately, that would attract more people wanting to run from diverse backgrounds. So with that, I'd ask that my colleagues support this bill.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs. I've got people in the queue. Councilmember Hancock, you're recognized at podium number 5.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I have several concerns with this legislation, especially the time of the legislation. The first concern is, why would we do compensation study for elected officials more often than we do for our very own Metro employees? Every 4 years versus our own Metro employees have a compensation study every 10 to 12 years. It doesn't seem equitable to me. My second concern, why would we ask the Metro HR director to make the recommendation to us on our compensation? That would be a direct conflict of interest, as we are not Metro employees, but we do approve our HR director's budget. I would not want to put them in that uncomfortable position. My third concern, we cannot change our pay in our current term, but we can write in a raise for next term, right? Even though we just got an $8,000 raise this term. It's telling to me that the 4 co-sponsors are all first-term council members, and that will not pass the smell test with our constituents. Maybe you didn't hear this week's episode of the Tennessee Holler, where they berated an elected official in Davidson County, a member of the Democratic Party, for complaining about the pay, even though that was public information before the election, even though this job is supposed to be a public service as a public servant. Now, I am not in favor of the media berating anyone, and I certainly think it is anyone's prerogative to choose not to run or to choose not to run again. But this is not and should not be a market rate job. We have a potential referendum going to the polls July 27th. I do not think that any one of us wants that to pass. But to stop it, we need to build public trust. To build public trust, we need to defeat this bill. Please vote no, and I would like a roll call vote, please.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hancock. I've got Councilmember Rosenberg. You're at podium number 10.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is there anybody in the queue after me?
There is nobody in the queue after you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate Councilmember Toombs bringing this legislation. It is important to figure out and have a good handle on what's appropriate when it comes to compensation. And yes, I didn't realize it was a controversial position to believe that folks should be compensated for working. I don't know of any position in elected office in a council or legislative body of any kind where there is not some level of compensation. I know that for most of us it comes below minimum wage, and I don't believe that we should cut that, or that it's selfish of anybody to believe that we're going to get higher quality people running for council when there's a salary on the other end of it. You really limit the number of people who can run for office when you say you can only do it if you can do all of the work for free. And I know that there have been some attempts recently in the council to stir up some real hatred towards council members. Some of that's come out of this body. And I hope that passage of this bill tonight is not taken by some as another opportunity to do that when it's completely unwarranted. I look forward to voting yes on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Rosenberg. I'm looking at my screen. I've got Councilmember Sawara. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I think that one of the things that always jumps out at me, which we've talked about a lot, but we don't do enough of, is that we, on the floor of this council, sometimes paints our colleague in a very bad light. And the insinuation or the fact that there's a smell test and all of that, I think it's totally uncalled for. Our situations are different. Our take-home are different. Some of us can afford to, some of us cannot. And I think it's individual decision. And in terms of the pay thing, even the HR lady said that this is not for the current people, it's going to be for next one. I know a lot has been said. But I think from the get-go, what I always object to is the fact that we start on this floor making bad insinuation that translates into the general public. And we talk about people not trusting government when we actually say things that make others doubt our colleagues. And I think we need to put a check on that. That is so uncalled for. And I hope that we think about that, regardless of whatever we do.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Sawara. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Call the previous question.
Councilmember O'Connell has called the previous question. We're on the previous question. All those in favor of the previous question say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Previous question prevails. We are voting on this bill. We've had a request for a roll call vote. We'll honor that. So we are voting on BL 2021-675 for passage on third and final reading. This is a bill by Councilmember Toombs. Madam Clerk.
Ready to vote when you say.
Tell me when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're ready. We're voting on BL 2021-675 for passage on third and final reading. Obviously, if you're for the bill, you vote aye. If you're against it, you vote no. Madam Clerk, open up the machines. All right, the votes are in. Ayes 25, no 7, 1 abstention, 7 absent. Bill passes on third and final reading. So Bill 2021-675 passes. Mr. Cooper, I believe, is that it? All right, 2 other things before I let you get out of here. Well, 3 other things. First of all, this is one of the nicest birthday presents anybody has ever given me. We get out of here 2 hours early. That's pretty amazing. I have had a question regarding the pick for the Fair Board, which is a pick that I have to make. I am happy to answer it in this open meeting. After the last vote that I made in terms of the appointment, after that vote, I checked with both Mr. Cooper, our legal director, and then we checked with Metro Legal to find out what the time limit was on making the pick. There is no time limit on making the pick. It's not in the code. It's not in the ordinance. It's not in the charter. So there is no time limit at this point. But I am working on the pick, just letting you know. The last thing I will tell you is that I'm looking again at the note that I have on Metro Legal Attorney James Robinson. I think my heart and the rest of our hearts should go out to his family and the Metro Legal team. It's been a very difficult year. As Councilmember Henderson started this discussion today and this meeting, it has not been a very easy year. We are still suffering the ramifications from all these things that hit. This is a sad day for the Metro family, and hearts go out to Mr. Robinson, his family, and our prayers go out to his family and also to the Metro Legal team. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn. Proper motion, proper second. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We stand adjourned.
And so the council has concluded about a less than 2-hour meeting, much shorter than they've been doing it lately. The biggest high-profile pieces of legislation tonight, beginning in earnest the budget season, the budget for next year, and the property tax rate ordinance was both passed on first reading without much debate. There was an amendment made to the certified property tax levy that the council must adopt, but that after the amendment was made, it was a housekeeping measure, that was deferred. All those will be given final approval by the council at its last meeting in the month of June. The council, in other action tonight, did approve, in light of the reappraisal, which will cause will cause the overall tax rate to be lowered quite a bit, it appears. There could be a number of appeals for that, particularly commercial property owners. The council approved adding 2 more persons to hear commercial case appeals. They previously approved 69 residential hearing officers and 6 commercial officers. So, again, 2 more in that area. Council also approved $9.4 million in grants from the city's Barnes Fund for affordable and workforce housing developments. The fund would go to Affordable Housing Resources, Habitat for Humanity, Be a Helping Hand, Samaritan Recovery Community, Mending Hearts Incorporated, Urban Housing Solutions, and the Woodbine Community Organization. Strong support for these in the council. In fact, it passed on the consent calendar tonight. There was a second bill that the council split on. It was a bill on second reading that would have required setting aside at least 20% of the Barnes grant funds to be allocated to small affordable housing nonprofit groups. Some council members felt like they've been left out. The council voted 16-16 on that, with Vice Mayor Jim Shulman then casting an affirmative vote to keep the bill alive. I would point out it's going to take at least 4 more votes for it to pass on third and final reading, so we'll have to watch to see what happens on that. Council also easily approved around $1 million grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Board of Health to provide a variety of services to reduce infant mortality and also to support for pregnant and parenting women. Also, another series of resolutions were approved tonight accepting grants from governmental entities and private groups to fund improvements in several metro parks, including Warner Park, Two Rivers Park, Red Caboose Park in Bellevue, and Bells Bend Park. Council also considered and approved a bill that would allow a new overlay in Metro that would be a detached accessory dwelling situation for that. Some council members have been requested about, particularly for older relatives. Also, the bill sponsors tonight basically said this would be another tool for affordable housing. It does not change anybody's zoning at this point. It does not approve anybody having any of these detached things at this point. That have to come through again with a special overlay in zoning to do that. It was expected to be perhaps a close vote. It needed 21 votes to pass. It got 28 with 5 noes and 7 abstentions. So that bill will go on to Mayor Cooper for his signature. One other bill on third reading, the council approved a waiver of certain building permits for repair and rebuilding of properties damaged as a result of the March flood. Some of the bills had been passed previously to help those impacted by the 2020 March 2020 tornado and the 2nd Avenue bombing. Council also approved one other bill tonight that had been sort of deferred several times in the council, to set up a special solid waste committee to identify solutions for long-term disposal of Nashville's solid waste. The bill was amended to include recycling, and also the makeup of that particular group was changed, and no longer will we see a lot of elected officials added into it, which were going to be on there originally. It's going to be now 12 members, which will be nominated by Mayor Cooper and confirmed by the council. Again, that should be happening in the next couple of meetings. Council also, in the very last action tonight, approved a bill on third reading, getting 25 votes, 7 against, 1 against, to continue to allow compensation studies for the council once each term. The council cannot increase its own pay. It can only make a recommendation or make a decision for a pay increase. It would only take effect after the next election. There's been a lot of debate about this. Some council members were very uneasy about getting involved with this, but again, 25-7-1, it did pass tonight. The council is now in recess until the first day of June. We'll be going back for the first time in some time to go back to the Metro Courthouse and to the council chambers to have its first public meeting there, open to the public meeting. Council has not met there in the council chambers for a live meeting with all of them there and the public invited as well since March 17th, 2020. We'll be here at that time to provide live coverage. The council will also be having its public hearing on the zoning that night. That was on the budget that night. That should be quite an event. It was quite an event last year. In fact, the public hearing went well into the dawn the following day. Of course, there was a major tax increase on the line, which is not the case this. In fact, the rate will be decreased because of the reappraisal. And we'll see what happens at that point. We'll be here at that time on June 1st to provide live coverage. Until then, I'm Pat Nolan, and good night from the Music City Center. Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan, Nashville, and Davidson County Council has been coming to you live from the Davidson Room in Music City, and it's been a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.